A very good evening to all of you. For third year in a row, we are meeting virtually instead of physically. This year, we were hoping to meet and interact with you personally, as we have traditionally been doing. Unfortunately, this year as well, we had to limit ourselves to virtual engagement. Hopefully, next year, we shall meet like good old times. On behalf of Bharat Petroleum, I extend a warm welcome to all our friends and well-wishers in the media who have always given us their wholehearted support and partnered in our success story through the years, highlighting our work and activities, especially over the last 2 years since the pandemic hit us. I also welcome our Chairman and Managing Director and other directors who are looking forward to interacting with the media today. Starting with the introductions, third from your right is our Chairman and Managing Director, Shri Arun Kumar Singh. To his left is Shri V.R.K. Gupta, Director Finance, who is also holding the additional charge of Director HR. And to your extreme right is Shri Sanjay Khanna, Director Refineries. To the right of C&MD is our recently appointed Director Marketing, Shri Sukhmal Jain. The financial year 2021-22 started with the re-emerging challenges of the second wave of COVID. Ingrained in our DNA, BPCL has exhibited extraordinary resilience from then on and continued on the growth path nevertheless. We always strive to push boundaries to build a better future, whether it's reducing our carbon footprints, announce the goal to achieve net zero in scope 1 and 2 emissions by the year 2040, or creating additional revenue streams as the energy landscape undergoes transformation. To share with you how we plan to add new glorious chapters to our journey in the years ahead, I now request our Chairman and Managing Director, Shri Arun Kumar Singh, to kindly address you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to speak to you on the occasion of the 69th AGM of BPCL. At the outset, I would like to share with you that with the recent amalgamation of Bharat Oman Refineries Limited and Bharat Gas Resources Limited with BPCL, the company stands to reap immense benefits of integration in the form of tax efficiencies, logistics and manpower synergies, as well as capital structure economies and operational flexibilities. I am sure you are already aware of BPCL's performance in 21-22. Let me share with you some significant highlights. On the physical front, BPCL registered improved market sales of 42.1 million ton and crude throughput of 30.07 million ton on a standalone basis, as against 38.74 million ton and 26.40 million ton respectively in the year 21-22. BPCL has achieved the #1 position in market sales growth amongst PSU oil marketing companies. On the financial front, our profit after tax on a standalone basis stood at 8,789 crore as against profit after tax of 19,042 crore in the previous year. The decline mainly attributable to one-time gain on the sale of stake in Numaligarh Refinery Limited in the year 21-22. Besides this, during the year, the gains due to higher refining margins were more than offset by the lower marketing margins and lower inventory gains, dragging our profits down. Continuing our tradition of rewarding shareholders, the Board of Directors declared a total dividend of ₹16 per share on earning of ₹41.31 per share for the year. After the unprecedented tumult of the COVID pandemic, the global economy and particularly the energy sector has been witnessing challenges of a different kind and magnitude since the past few months. High level of inflation, exacerbated by recent geopolitical tensions, is hurting the growth momentum globally. For the country, particularly the financial health of domestic oil marketing has been under tremendous pressure. The world is witnessing a shift taking place away from traditional energy sources and towards cleaner energy solutions. Recognizing the need to diversify and create additional revenue streams as the energy landscape undergoes transformation, BPCL has during 21-22 created two new business units, namely renewable energy and new businesses, to pursue clean energy business and consumer retailing business in a focused manner. This initiative is part of our overall strategy across the 6 pillars of future growth that we have identified for creating sustainable value for all our stakeholders, while also providing a hedge against the risk of any decline in oil and gas business. These 6 pillars are petrochemicals, gas, renewables, new businesses, that is consumer retailing, e-mobility and upstream. The core business of refining and marketing of petroleum products will continue to provide stability and funding bandwidth. Elaborating on these 6 pillars, I would like to highlight that enhancing the presence in petrochemicals space is the topmost priority for BPCL. In this direction, we have planned ethylene cracker project at Bina Refinery and the polypropylene project at Kochi Refinery, for which feasibility studies and other pre-project activities are underway. The projects are likely to take around 4 years for completion once the environmental clearance is received and are expected to come on stream by 26-27. Once commissioned, these will increase the share of petrochemicals in the company's product portfolio from around 1% currently to about 8%. In the city gas distribution segment of the natural gas business in the country, BPCL now has licenses for developing CGD networks in 25 GAs on a standalone basis and a total of 50 GAs inclusive of JVs. Success in the past few rounds of CGD bidding has seen BPCL emerge as one of the top 3 CGD players in the country. Further, commercial operations have started at 8 new GAs during the year 21-22, while work in other GAs is progressing well. Contributing to climate stabilization and aligned with national priorities, BPCL has announced its aspiration to achieve net zero emissions in Scope 1 and Scope 2 by 2040, a first among PSU oil marketing companies, and has formed an Energy Transition Council to drive this objective. A detailed roadmap is being laid out, including critical milestones to be achieved at various stages in the journey. The Renewable Energy Business Unit, while undertaking commercial ventures in the renewable space, will be a major driver and contributor to country's green initiative. BPCL has planned to scale up its renewable energy portfolio from less than 50 megawatts today to 1 gigawatt by 2025 and 10 gigawatts by 2040, and has begun exploring various organic and inorganic opportunities in this direction. Participating wholeheartedly in the National Biofuel Program, BPCL recently achieved 10% blending of ethanol in petrol and is committed to increasing the blending percentage in line with the roadmap led by the government. Consumer retailing is a fast-growing segment in the country, and we are making novel moves by reimagining this business. With initial focus on small towns and rural areas, the recently created business unit, New Businesses, has developed a unique digitally enabled omni-channel business model to provide fuel and non-fuel offerings to the lowest strata of Indian market through engagement of rural women folk entrepreneurs called Urja Devis. In its first year of formation, the business has already opened 30 in and out stores in tehsils and enrolled 300 Urja Devis in rural areas. The business is working towards creating 1,500 in and out stores and engaging 15,000 Urja Devis in the year 2022-23. In the electric mobility space, towards addressing the range anxiety related to four-wheelers, we have introduced a novel concept of highway fast charging corridor. After successful pilot on 900-kilometer stretch of the Chennai-Trichy Madurai highway, that is NH45, we plan to scale this facility across 200 highway corridors with around 2,000 outlets in the year 2022-23. Besides, we are providing charging facility at our retail outlets in alliance with the EV partners, as well as exploring opportunities across segments of the EV value chain like battery swapping. We are committed to converting around 7,000 conventional retail outlets into energy stations in the medium to long term, providing multiple fueling options. Talking about the upstream business, Bharat Petro Resources Limited, our wholly owned upstream subsidiary, achieved a major milestone in the development of one of the biggest exploration assets, that is the BPCL 11th concession in Brazil, with the consortium submitting declaration of commerciality for the oil and gas discovery in December 21. BPCL has recently received the approval of the Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs for the proposed investment of approximately USD 1.6 billion in the asset. The submission of field development plan and the final investment decision are likely to take place shortly, after which construction will commence. In Mozambique, where BPRL along with other consortium partners is developing the 210 LNG project, the security situation is improving and the consortium is working towards an early restart of the project. Leveraging the power of digitalization, we are sailing ahead on our digital transformation journey under our Project Anubhav, which has delivered innovative applications and solutions with exceptional features, thereby enhancing trust, convenience and personalization for our esteemed customers, while improving transparency and efficiency in our operations. Applications like Hello BPCL, Iris, Urja, UFill, Advanced Loyalty Program and Sales Buddy have become powerful brands today and seeing increased usage day by day. For BPCL, community development has been an integral part of our corporate philosophy, and our corporate social responsibility initiatives encapsulate our expression of oneness with communities. BPCL, a conscientious corporate citizen, has always been at the forefront of service to society and nation building, including during the COVID times. In the nation's fight against the pandemic, we have been contributing wholeheartedly in various ways, including providing oxygen from our refineries and setting up COVID care facility in the vicinity to ease the burden on government healthcare system. In the wake of the prevailing high crude oil prices and the fluidity seen in the global economy, BPCL is closely monitoring the evolving situation, recalibrating its responses and taking all necessary actions and initiatives to ensure continued sound financial health, improve upon efficiencies, build on capabilities and create new capacities leveraging technology. BPCL, as an immensely adaptable, pragmatic and agile organization, will continue to add new glorious chapters to its journey in the years ahead by working diligently to create outstanding value for its stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shri Arun Kumar Singh, for the address. We would now take the questions from the journalist. And the first journalist we are going to is Kalpana Pathak from Economic Times. Hello, Kalpana, do you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. A couple of questions. One, if you could update on your investments in Brazil and Mozambique both. Currently, you mentioned that Mozambique security situation has improved. And how will you fund these investments? That's one. Second, borrowings for OMCs are increasing. How comfortable are you with your borrowings and debt equity ratio right now? What is your debt equity ratio currently? And will the increased borrowings have any impact on your capex plans or investments going forward?
Okay, so first your question on Brazil, second on Mozambique, and third on borrowing, right? So Brazil, as you know, we have our consortium declared the commerciality, and now we are obligated to submit field development plan that is scheduled. Last date of submitting this plan is 2nd November, if I remember correctly, 2022. Means only 2-3 months away, rather 2 months, few days away. So that is something that we are on the course. BPCL share in that development is around 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion, out of that 400 million will come out of the project itself, because after oil starts production, 1.2 billion BPCL has to fund, and that funding has to happen over the next 3-4 years. So in nutshell, you can take it is at 10,000 crore piece for BPCL. Now coming to Mozambique, almost same timeline, 26. Mozambique, it will take around 4 years, and now the project additional capex involved is 1.8 billion. So that is also another, you can say 1.8 is roughly around 15,000 crore. So both put together is 25,000 crore piece, and this is over 4 years, and BPCL generates roughly, internal generation always is around 7 to 8,000 crore PAT we get, and then if after you knocking out the dividend also, still we have 8 to 9,000 crore in our 10,000 crore total cash generation. So assuming that this 25,000 crore plus, we have already announced 1,40,000 crore project over 5 years, if I remember correctly. So it is roughly 28 to 29,000 crore. So if we generate 10,000 crore year on year and then we keep growing it, I don't see any problem in managing a debt, because debt equity ratio, debt on internal resource generation, debt can be maximum, say if internal generation is 50-60,000 crore and 50-60,000 crore is debt. With the current debt equity level was last year we announced after it was 0.65, right, on a standalone basis. And now, of course, because of this price issue, it has gone up. But this is a temporary phase. I am sure on a standalone basis we'll be back to 0.65 very soon, and we'll maintain at that level between 0.65 to 1, which is a very healthy debt equity ratio for any company. So borrowing side we are not worried. Debt equity ratio side we are not worried. Only thing the country, this is all contingent upon how the world moves in energy field. But this problem of current Russia-Ukraine issue, which fueled the problem, in our assessment can't subsist forever. So it is just a temporary phase, will go away, and then our normal world should be back. And fortunately, India will keep growing in fossil fuel, because in our assessment, if economy grows at 7-8%, there is no way India can grow without growing in MSHSD or petroleum products. So in everybody's assessment, all the world assessment, hydrocarbon sector in India particularly will continue to grow up to 2035-40. So we don't see any revenue problem, we don't see any borrowing problem. Only temporary hiccups has to go, and which is started, all of these has started in Feb end. So now we are 6 months through it. I don't think world has capacity to absorb it beyond a particular time, and then world will find its own solution to come to the normal mode.
Is it okay with you, Kalpana, or any more?
She's not there.
Kalpana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I wasn't allowed to unmute myself. Just one clarification. So you mean, you're saying that your capex plans will not be impacted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just one more question. Can you update us on the Ratnagiri refinery status, sir?
What is the refinery status you want? Which refinery?
What refinery status you are looking for, Kalpana?
Sir, the Ratnagiri RRC PCL Ratnagiri refinery in Maharashtra that is planned.
This question you should ask to Ratnagiri refinery people.
So you are a partner there.
So as of now, you know that land area is being, is an issue. We have two options. Those areas has to be sorted out. Then the configuration will get finalized. So it is a little away from today. And if at all it comes, it will be, my assessment is that it will be, whenever it comes, it will be, definitely the commercial structure is going to change. So this is all I can say at this point in time. Done?
Kalpana is okay?
So she is done.
Okay, we'll move to the next question. I think that was from Kalpana. And the next question that I'm asking you, sir, on behalf of Sakal News, Vaibhav Ghate, is from Mumbai. He's asking about, we have recently announced net zero by 2040 in scope 1 and 2 emissions. What's the investment outlay we have planned for these till 2040? And two supplementary question is that since we are going for 1 gigawatt renewable energy by 2025 and 25 by 10 gigawatt by 2040, what's the plan to for the Kochi Refinery? We are setting 8.4. Is any timeline we have? Perhaps Director Refinery can take that. And also about green hydrogen, there has been media reports that we have invited bids to set up green hydrogen plants. So,
on the green hydrogen, we are having two updates. One is that at Bina Refinery, we are setting up a 20 megawatt electrolyzer facility, which is expected to produce 8 ton per day green hydrogen. And parallelly, our R&D along with BRC is developing indigenous electrolyzer, where expected cost is expected to go down almost by 40%. So these are the two updates on green hydrogen.
He also was looking for is that on renewable fronts, we say 1 gigawatt now in 2025 and 10 gigawatts by 2040. We have started on the first pilot as 8.4 in Kochi. So any further announcement that would be coming in sooner?
Yeah, multiple options. As it was told earlier, it is being worked out. We have hired a consultant for having a clear-cut roadmap for next 3 to 4 years. And Bina and Kochi will be the major center. Bina we are planning to go in a big way. And Kochi we have recently announced, Kochi as well as in Bina Refinery we have announced around 20 megawatt facilities setting up.
Maybe Director of Finance can take this, the investment outlay that we have earmarked for overall project net zero.
Overall net zero project in respect of renewables, definitely by 2025 1 gigawatt, we are planning to allocate around 5,000 crore. But by 2040, when we have aspired for 10 gigawatt, we have to work out what would be the plan and what is the sourcing. But otherwise, up to 2025, we have certain workings, how much capital we can allocate. As of date, for 1 gigawatt, we have an aspirational target and to invest 5,000 crore. For net zero total overall requirement of funding, we are yet to work out. Only renewables we have completed. Other projects we are yet to work out, so that once it is finalized, then we can clarify what is the total requirement of funding for net zero.
All right. Thank you, Director of Finance. We would now move to Shahakar Abdi from Autocar Professionals. Hello, Shahakar.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hi, Shahakar. Yeah, yes, we do hear you.
Yeah. So I have a question. I wanted to know, if you can elaborate more on the fast charging infrastructure which you are setting up along the highways. So, you talked about 200 such highways where these sectors are being set up. So, if you can just elaborate more on that, sir.
So, we believe that the biggest contribution that we can make to society and nation in EV space is offering our, addressing the issue of range anxiety for four-wheeler customers, those who are having EVs or going to have EVs. And this range anxiety is mostly for highways. And highway, as you know, BPCL has a very strong presence, particularly the important highways. So, and we have enough number of sites. So, for every 100 kilometer, we have planned that we will have a charging station on both sides of the highways, so that no customer has a range anxiety issue in his mind. So, that is the reason that we said that we chose 200 highway corridors. And that work is going on, and we want to do it by end of this FY, so that although we are moving ahead of time little, because still it is a chicken and egg story that we have car owners say that we don't need we need charging station to buy, and we say so therefore we said we'll take the lead and provide these charging stations on highway to address range anxiety. So, and that we feel it will be adequate, particularly for important national highways which is having a substantive car traffic.
Shakar.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, next would be Nikki Machandani from Money Control. Hello, Nikki.
Good evening, gentlemen. I had actually 3 quick questions. 2 of them have already been answered. But I have this question where I'd want to understand more on the front of auto fuel sales in the last 2 quarters. Because seems like oil marketing companies have been incurring losses. They've not been increasing the prices for almost 3 months before March when crude prices were high. So I'd like to understand what's your outlook on that. And also a word on the entire plans of revival of divestment. What has the government conveyed right now?
So I'll answer your first question. Second question you should ask government. Because owners have to decide what is their plans. So, and government is the owner in our case, government, and majority shareholder is the government. So second question I've already answered. First question was in relation to the price. One thing you must realize that that the crude prices, particularly crude and product prices both, have been so volatile that one day it swings by $5-7 up or $5-7 down. Our ability to pass on this kind of volatility is simply not there. Okay? No Indian marketeer can afford to transfer this volatility to a country of 1.4 billion people who are basically a part of a developing country. So it is always our deep desire to absorb volatility either way. Either way, when it is going up, we don't pass on immediately. While going down also, we don't pass on immediately. But when it goes down, that time you make noise that why you are not transferring this to public. When it is going up, then also you are asking questions that why you are not passing on to public. So I gave you answer that both sides, we are more calibrated than say a Western oil company. Now, second point, you also be mindful that we have a responsibility towards our people. So that also stems from the fact that we can absorb some losses, and ultimately with the hope that we'll make up these losses when the good time come. And if you see the record of oil companies, always it is seesaw game. In fact, if you take it's not the first time that in first quarter we have posted this kind of loss. If you go back 10 years or if you go back 15 years, 10 to 12 years behind, you will find that in one quarter we had 8,000 crore loss. So it is not that it is happening first time, and even after that loss, we still came back and we made our routine profit. So, but what I wanted to say, over the period of time it will even out. So it is just a temporary phase. We believe that these prices cannot remain at this level, and if, God forbid, if this world decides to take a recessionary hit, and that is as big as slowing down the economy of the world, then in any case price will come down. So where is the pain? And if it doesn't, definitely then we will take some steps in consultation with all the stakeholders to make sure that we remain financially comfortable. So it is just a matter of few months. First quarter is bad. Last year also FY we posted good profit, 8,000, 9,000 crore is, I would not say it is a great profit, but average, is a good return. And this, of course, first quarter was a concern. But second quarter is not as bad as the first quarter was. So things are improving, but up to a point we can take. Beyond that, we can't take that, and then that time we'll do some intervention. So this is what is our response to your question.
Singh, just to follow up, when you say that a particular level will elicit a response from the oil marketing companies, including BPCL, what do you think in that case? What is that one level beyond which the company wouldn't, go along with the recalibration or maybe the volatile nature and just would pass on to the consumers? What's that one level for you?
You want to pin me down to a particular figure, I suppose. And figure is one thing we never quote, but definitely this is something I want to give you some comfort, because you must know that next month onward LPG we don't have losses. Today even in gasoline we don't have losses. Okay, diesel continues to be loss making, but not as bad as that used to be. So we have got little leeway now. So, but up to what, how, whether this intervention will be by price increase or by some other means, that will depend on what happens in LPG space, what happens to LPG, what happens to basically the compensating the LPG losses, and all that. Multiple options are there on the table. Something will get played. Did I answer your question? I can't answer your question that when will increase the price.
Nikki, I think you got your answer, isn't it? Well, I think she's done with. I have, sir, a question which is coming in from Navjeevan Express. It is a very related question. What he's asking is from Chennai, that crude price has once again crossed $100 per barrel. And how do you see the crude oil prices panning out in short to medium term? So your prophecy, they are looking forward, which you are known for these days in the press.
No. I still believe that this is a temporary phase. World cannot afford this price. Okay, world cannot afford this price for long. It is just a matter of time before it. But one other thing, of course, is a matter of concern is that is world got into a structure where the energy transition has become a cause of pain, and therefore energy transition need to be more orderly. And today it is very disorderly, and energy transition, the protagonists of energy transition are also partly responsible for the current mess that we are in, that is underinvestment in oil and gas assets, resulting in the supply problem. Demand side remaining constant, but supply side problems are many. But these problems will get over in 6 to 8 months, because the kind of investment that is going on now, because of the fantastic return, that water will find its own level of equilibrium. So let's wait for some more time, but I see this oil prices will not remain at 100. I had already predicted 90, it went down to 94, and again, you know why it has gone up to 100. Some countries came to, and did a press conference of announcing a cut, which I think is impractical, not doable. If they do it, the consequences will be very high.
Yeah, one more question coming in from Navjeevan Express, sir, is, in fact, he's going a little more into the future when he says that with the hydrogen-powered vehicles coming in, EVs may also get redundant. So, could you throw some light on this aspect if we have thought about it?
See, hydrogen, commercially acceptable hydrogen vehicle with desired safety levels for a country like India, to my mind, is still away. Some sample may happen here and there, government can support some here and there, but today the hydrogen production, storage, transportation, vehicle, fuel cell, all combination if you see, very few can afford that price. Very few can afford that price. So it can be a very, very small percentage of the game, at least for next 5 years. We can't predict about 10 years later, but definitely for next 5 years, EV is more a buzz. EV will be more successful in next 5 years than hydrogen.
Okay. The next journalist to ask question is Ratna Jyoti Datta from Platts. Hello, Ratna Jyoti.
Hi, how are you? Can
Very
you hear
well.
me?
Yes, we do. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah, good evening to all on the dais. I just wanted to know what plans do you have, maintenance plan for the refineries in near terms, or say till March 31st, refinery shutdown plan.
I think Director of
Yeah.
Refineries would take that.
Yeah, in the month of July, we had successfully completed the turnaround of Mumbai Refinery, one of the train, and we are going to have another one train shutdown of Kochi Refinery in the month of September end to October end. That is the plan. Apart from that, there is no planned turnaround during the year.
Will it be the Kochi refinery?
Yeah, Kochi Refinery will be shut down from September end to October end for a month, one train. And apart from that, there is no planned shutdown during the year for either of the refinery.
Okay. So during that shutdown plan, Kochi Refinery will partially operate.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I just want to clarify to you that BPC, both the bigger refineries, that is Kochi and Mumbai, are two-train refinery. So at no point in time, most of the time, more than half the refinery will always operate. So these measures, of course, single train, phenomena is our Bina refinery, and so Kochi Refinery is going to alter our thing. But I wanted to also say that by then we will have built up our enough inventory. So I don't see much of a problem for September end to October end. Because now, as you know, we have production of more than what we consume. So if all the three refineries run together along with NRL, product with us, we are always little surplus. And that surplus for 1 or 2 months, if we continue, we store enough to meet the demand during that time.
Just wondering when the starting date is for Kochi Refinery?
It is planned from 25th September onwards for a month.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next question is also from Director Refineries, coming in from Vivek Jha from News Corp. He says that BPCL is about to set up a petrochemical plant at Bina. 2,500 acres of land has been sought from the government. What's the progress? And what's the timelines for the petrochem plant?
Actually, the land which we have sought, it's for our renewable energy. It is more for the solar power. The petrochemical complex will be set up within the refinery, and the capacity of ethylene cracker will be 1.2 million metric ton per annum.
Any timelines you like to say?
As it was told by Chairman Sir, the timeline will be after getting the environmental clearance, it will be taking around 4 years' time.
Right. Thank you very much. A related question from you, Director Refinery. It's Nikki got disconnected, and she's asking that 1 gigawatt of renewable power by 2025 and 10 gigawatt by 2040. What is the investment along with the timeline? Timeline we have already spoken today. What the investment we are looking at now?
Investment for 1 gigawatt is around 5,000 crore.
All right. I'll go to next is Rohan Sharma from Information. Rohan, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, hello Rohan.
Sir, I am Rakesh from Energy Intelligence.
Oh, hi Rakesh. Do come in.
Sir, in reply to Kalpana's question on Ratnagiri Refinery, you said that commercial structure for refinery will change. I just want to understand what does that mean? It was a 60 million tons project with 5 partners. So what exactly changes? Is it the capacity? Is it the shareholding pattern? And the reason for that?
Could be a combination of all.
And the reason for that?
Because it depends on what land area we get it. Okay, if the land area is small, there could be one option. If the land area is big, there is another option. Plus, you should be mindful that depending on, there is a particular way of working for foreign partners. They have a particular way of working. So that working they are not going to change. So let us see how it unfolds on ground. What happens to the land? Land, is still a variable piece. It is not yet closed.
Sir, also I wanted to check with you on the crude sourcing for next year. Will we see any change from what we did in 2022? Is there a possibility of striking a term deal with Russia? And are you hopeful of getting the contracted volumes from at least? Thank you.
As of now, as we speak, so far we have not heard that any disturbance in offing from the conventional term sources. But as for any oil company for that matter, and for this matter all the OMCs, they continuously are in dialogue with all the suppliers of the world, including Russia, and to increase its term basket to around 70%. So that exercise is a continuously evolving dialogue, and that gets closed near the end of calendar year or financial year. So you'll have to wait for a while to see that what happens on which front. But as of now, we don't foresee a problem.
You were in dialogue with Russia for a short-term deal. Has that materialized, or what stage is the dialogue at?
We are not only in talk with Russia, we are in talk with everyone.
No, just specifically on Russia, sir. You were on looking forward for a short-term
Russia,
deal.
yeah, we are in dialogue with them. That is, there is no denial to that fact. But when it will materialize, how it will materialize, what terms will come, is something that will get clearer more as we go along. But dialogue is the essential part. What I wanted to tell you, dialogue is the essential part, but closure is a two companies matter.
Thank you very much. And I would now invite PB Jayakumar from Fortune India. Hi Jayakumar.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mastering and others on the dais. My question is related to the energy transition, which you said on which of the 6 pillars you have identified, gas is going to be one of the key of 6 areas. So, considering the current scenario and going forward, what are your plans related to that? Because you are the largest retailer of gas in India. So, what are your plans going forward, especially related to sourcing as well as your plans on marketing that?
Yeah, good evening. In gas area, actually we are developing 25 geographical areas, out of which we have already commenced supplies in 10 geographical areas. And we are quite hopeful that this business is going to continue for long, as this will be part of energy transition also. Gas will act as an energy transition fuel. So we are quite hopeful, and city gas distribution we are going with full energy.
Moreover, just to give you a macro view, gas is in terms of percentage for global energy basket. Gas is available in plenty. Gas prices in this round has gone up because of the absence of liquefaction and mobility. But the kind of prices gas is getting nowadays, I am 100% sure, in 2-3 years' time, you will have huge surplus of liquefaction capacity. Because many people have recovered their price of plant in 1 year. So once the liquefaction comes, gas, first of all, country itself, if you see today, our country's own production is like last year was 35 BCM. 35 BCM is roughly 27-28 million ton of gas. That is on rise. Our own production is on rise, and largely this rise came from private sector. So our own gas availability is improving. On the top of it, LNG facility world over is improving. So gas will become more fungible, more movable. Definitely gas is environment friendly, little more environment friendly. So gas also goes to serve that purpose. But in long run, gas is going to remain cheaper, except for this Ukraine-Russia problem for the time being. But in long run, in 2 years, 3 years time, whatever happens, happens for good. In 2-3 years time, you see what gas infrastructure will get developed over the world. Because it will be a problem of plenty after 3 years. You can take it from me.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would now invite Madhu Nanan from PetroWatch.
Good evening, sir. This
Good
is
evening,
Madhu
Madhu.
from PetroWatch.
Good evening, Madhu.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we do. Please ask your question.
Yeah. Sir, I understand that you have been shortlisted recently for PNGRB chairman.
We will.
Days back for ONGC chairman and managing director.
Madhu, currently Mr. Arun, Madhu, I would intervene. Mr. Arun Kumar Singh is addressing this press conference in his capacity as the chairman and managing director of Bharat
BPCL.
Petroleum.
I will engage with you. I'll engage with you in private.
Therefore, during this forum, I would request you to restrict the questions related with the activities of the company, which is chairing it now.
Fine. So, sir, for LNG imports, how are you looking at spot LNG imports for your CGD business? Because you have got ambitious work program commitments for the 9th and 10th round, and also for the 11th round. I don't know if you have won areas in the 11th round. And there is a shortage of gas, domestic gas, for these ambitious commitments. How are you planning to
So government, as you may be aware, if you are keeping a watch, now for domestic sector, CGD sector, 94-95% of demand is being made by domestic gas.
Sir,
APM.
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
But that's only till September 30th, sir.
No, September, yeah, that's right. But in senior position, you need to be an optimist. So I have no reason to believe that September onward. Why you think world will, government will not make intervention after 30th September?
Why don't you make it 100% for CGD?
No, I can't comment that. But definitely one thing we know, that domestic gases will be available in large number for domestic market. I can't say 100%, but definitely big number will continue. And if that number continues, we don't foresee a big problem, because even if you have to mix 5-6% of import, still an import gradually becoming better and better post November, December. So it will not be a significant pricing issue for CGD business. So CGD business is, as long as government supports CGD through domestic APM pricing, and that too for substantive numbers, it is not a matter of concern for us.
But prices are increasing, sir. I mean, have you reduced prices after the mandatory pooling was reversed? Have you
No, we have, I'm saying many places we have. In fact, I will be very precise with you. Mumbai came down from 86 rupee a kg to 80 rupee a kg after government increased domestic allocation. While some CGD which had not increased the price in previous round also, they remain, they are static, they are not gone up, like IGL, I'll be very frank with you. So, therefore every reason is that it got passed on to customer. Let's see how it pans out in October, and then October, November is the test. But I'm 100% sure that some intervention will be made.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madhu. I would now invite Nidhi Verma from Reuters. Nidhi, hi.
Hi, sir. Hi, Singh, sir.
How are you?
Hi, sir. So in the morning you mentioned that the BPC's profitability is hinging on various aspects, including retail price increase and government intervention. So is there a move by the government to compensate the refiners in some way for the losses they have been incurring now and had incurred in the previous quarter on retail sales of fuels?
So this question also you should ask government, not BPCL. Because you are asking that how government will compensate. How do I know government how will compensate?
But sir, you gave an assurance to the shareholders in the morning that
there will be some, I'm 100% sure, because I've said commonsensically that we can't afford to have 6,000-7,000 crore loss per quarter. So there's some intervention will be made. What intervention, that I can't say. But some intervention will be made, either price intervention if it is unavoidable, or some compensation, some grant, something or the other has to come.
And sir, how do you see the profitability of the September quarter compared to your previous quarter? Do you think that the company will be able to make profits in this quarter?
We are not supposed to bet.
Have already.
We are not supposed to bet. I believe if I do it, it will be. No, if I give you a reply, we will be violating SEBI norms. So please wait for October, November. Results will come, then you will come to know.
And sir, one last question. You have already booked 1 MTPA LNG from the Mozambique plant. So at what slope the deal was done for that particular purchase?
It is NDA, ma'am. It is non-disclosure agreement we have signed.
Sir, sir, everything you are saying.
So you want to take my job away? That is a different thing. But we are under NDA. But I can tell you, it is a very attractive terms. That's it. Okay. So it is very attractive. It is even today, if somebody offers that slope, I will take it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. No answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nidhi. The next I would invite, I have a question coming in from Devapriya Sengupta from ABP. Can you please share once again the total capex for financial year 23 and if available for the next couple of years? Director of Finance.
Director of Finance.
For 22-23, we have estimated a capex of around 10,000 crore. Out of which around 2,500 crore for equity investments and balance around 7,500 crore for our ongoing projects mainly. And next 5 years already we have certain plans we have incorporated in the annual report also. Around 1.4 lakh crore we are going to invest in major projects. The major investments will be, one is in petrochemicals and the second one is CGDs. Third one, already in the downstream we have certain commitments in Mozambique and Brazil around 25,000 crore. So overall next 5 years all put together we are going to invest around 1.4 lakh crore. That is our aspirational target. So overall that's it, capex.
I think we have answered you, Devapriya. One follow-up question, no, it's not follow-up, but another question which is coming in from him is to Chairman that what he says is that the crude price would eventually come down. Would that get replicated into retail as well? So, the question which is coming from is that you have indicated that the crude price would eventually come down in a few months from now. Would that get reflected into the retail pricing as well?
No, retail
which
pricing.
I think you have answered already. That.
No, because there is no scope to my mind, there is, unless crude drops substantively, there is no room to reduce. To my mind, you know the truth that we are losing, and therefore crude price, unless it falls very, very high, good substantively, we will not be in a position to reduce the price. So that should be I'll be very frank with you, unless some other parameters change and we have to take a collective view and do something, that is a different issue. But linearly, if crude falls substantively, then only we will be able to reduce the price.
Okay, sir. Now, another question is coming in from from Gaurav Muthe, Lok Satta, and he is asking about the announcement that we have made on net zero scope 1 and 2 emission. His question is that if you could please share how much is India's total carbon dioxide emission, and out of that, how much BPCL contributes?
So I'll give you a ballpark, big numbers. World emits roughly 40 gigaton of carbon dioxide. Entire world. India is still below 3. It is 5 to 6%. While population-wise, you know, we are 17–18%. So our share in the emission of world is still below 3 gigaton. Out of that, the total emission by OMCs, BPC, HPC, BPC particularly I'll talk about, is around 9 million ton. 9 million ton out of less than 3 gigaton will work out to roughly 0.3–0.35% of total world pollution, correct? So, because 9 to 70, yeah. So it is basically, we are, you would recall that I had announced that BPC will take scope 1 and scope 2 net zero transition by 2040. I think now everybody is saying those numbers, those time, and we are happy to see this, that everybody is moving in that direction. And so we will be doing our bit of scope 1 and 2 as committed to our Indian customers by 2040. That is scope 1 and scope 2. Because it is not a big number, it is achievable number, and we are sure of achieving it.
Right. Thank you, sir. We are taking now the last question. Shakar from Autocar Professionals had one more question coming in. Shakar, hi.
Hi, hi, sir. I have one more question. This is very specific to the LNG infrastructure, which BPCL along with other OMC is putting up along the major highways. So I just wanted to get a sense of what's happening on the ground from your company's side. How many such stations have been put up already, and what is the plans in this regard for next 2 to 5 years?
So LNG stations wise, we are committed to put 50, as you know. But LNG pricing has become a serious issue now, and unless the LNG pricing cools, there is no appetite for LNG as transportation fuel. So, in our view, at least it will take 1–1.5 years, more than a year, to cool LNG prices. And we can assure you that the moment LNG prices becomes affordable for trucking community for a long transportation, as a long transportation fuel, stations will not be a problem. We are there, all approval, everything are in place by and large. Only thing is we are also timing our capex investment to sync with the customer demand, because today no customer can afford, to my mind, nobody can afford to run a truck on LNG price. And because LNG price today will be simply unaffordable. He'll go out of the market because transportation truck has to compete in the market. So we are timing it with the LNG pricing.
So how many, I know, since we are just delaying the thing, I just wanted to understand, has any stations already been put up along these highways so far? If you can share
No,
number.
five must be very close to getting ready because 5 numbers, 10 numbers are getting almost very close to getting ready, but that also will be deferred for some more time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Shakar, and thank you very much. We have come to an end of this media engagement, and thank you very much, friends, for making it to this event and engaging with our management. Let's continue to strengthen the bonds and camaraderie as we pass milestones along our journey together. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy. God bless you all.